What's going on, everyone? This is Benjamin Dixon with The Benjamin Dixon Show, and I want to play a clip for you from Fox News by their host, Greta Van Susteren, and she's complaining about President Obama being petty. But when you listen to what President Obama said and you consider the facts of the matter with regard to the Iran nuke deal, he's not being petty. He's simply telling the truth. And I just find it so hilarious that conservatives and Republicans get their feelings all hurt when people start telling the truth on them. Listen to the clip and then we'll be back.
And I don't know about you, but as I listened to President Obama today at American University speaking about his proposed deal, I was embarrassed for him and I was dismayed for us. He got petty with a disgraceful cheap shot.
Just because Iranian hardliners chant death to America does not mean that that's what all Iranians believe. In fact, it's those hardliners who are most comfortable with the status quo. It's those hardliners chanting death to America who've been most opposed to the deal. They're making common cause with the Republican caucus.
Really? So if one dares to question the wisdom of President Obama's deal, he then links that person to the enemy, to people who chant death to America?
Yes, really. Don't act surprised, Greta. The Iranian hardliners don't want anything else but war. They don't want this nuclear deal because it's going to inhibit, it's going to stop their nuclear program. And so the hardliners in Iran absolutely do not want this deal. Likewise, there's an entire contingency in the Republican Party right now today who don't want anything else but war with Iran. And so they're doing everything they can to block this deal. They're spending millions of dollars in advertising dollars and lobbying dollars to stop this deal. And so in that regard, yes, President Obama is telling the absolute truth. It may hurt your feelings. It may make you upset that he's calling you out and telling the truth about you, about your conservative ideology, but that is the truth. Hardliners in the United States are just as detrimental to the United States security and to the cause of peace as the hardliners in Iran. All they want, all they know, all they understand is war. And so, yes, in that way, the hardliners in the United States are just like the hardliners in Iran.
Deliberately planned this punchline, drawing a laugh from the university audience. You heard them laughing. But this Iranian deal, it's not a laughing matter. And President Obama's very cheap shot at anyone daring to oppose him, including the many Democrats who do, is certainly not presidential.
You know, I love her use of a straw man here. She sets up the false premise that President Obama is attacking and taking cheap shots against anyone who dares to question him or challenge him on this nuclear deal with Iran, when in actuality, President Obama is simply having to come out and to convince the American people, as well as their leaders and congressmen and senators, that this is a good deal because so much money and time has been invested to sabotage the deal. There are people who are vested in war, and there are people who are vested in doing anything they can to stop President Obama, even if that means sabotaging a deal that will ultimately keep us from having to go to war. They will go to war rather than to give President Obama a victory. They have been on the TV constantly pounding the drums of this being a bad deal.
This is a terrible deal.
Why do we have a bad Iran deal?
This is a bad deal.
At the end of the day, there is a better deal.
But yet and still, they have offered nothing. No addendums, no changes, no suggestions, nothing to make this a better deal because they have no solutions. The only thing they know is war. And so it's just hilarious to me that Republicans get all into a hissy fit because President Obama had the nerve to call them out and tell the truth on them. And to me, that is the most amazing thing about being a progressive fighting against conservatism. Conservatives have to use lies. They constantly engage in propaganda and have truth just to maintain their constituency, just to maintain their voting base. That's the only way they can get their voters to continue to vote against their best economic and social interests is by using lies. But as progressives, we don't have to lie on conservatives to make them look bad. All we have to do is tell the truth about what conservatism really is, who they really represent, and the effects of their economic policies. And they look bad because they have nothing to offer America that is beneficial to the average American. They have nothing to offer the international community that's beneficial to humanity as a whole. Everything that they are, everything that they represent is detrimental to everyone except a very small economic and political elite that benefit off of war, that benefit off of tax cuts and subsidies and corporate welfare. That's who they represent. That's their true agenda. And if we just simply tell the truth on them, you see the reaction. You see how they recoil in terror and disgust, and they become almost childlike because you told the truth about them. So my advice to conservatives would be this: if you can't handle us telling the truth about you, then maybe you should stop telling lies about us. Hey, thanks for watching this video, everyone. If you liked it, be sure to click the like button, subscribe, and make sure you share it with all of your friends. If you like what we're doing at The Benjamin Dixon Show and think more people should hear it, consider becoming a Patreon. Go to www.patreon.com/thebpd show, and we'll see you next time.